Hi, welcome to another episode of Remote Art Talks.
Today I'm speaking with Jordan Barnecki. Jordan graduated from the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design in 2016 with a major in fine art and has since shown his work across Canada, the US, and internationally. He's joining us from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan today. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. You know, keeping on. It's cold in Toronto today.
Well, we have a little bit of nicer weather here in Saskatoon.
Which is interesting because it's usually the opposite, I feel.
Definitely is.
Yeah, but anyways, well, good for you. Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to talk to you today about your work, which I am familiar with, but I know that you've been doing a lot of, varied things lately. So I guess like for people who aren't familiar with your work, one might describe your work as more like minimalist. You play a lot with like white space and black space. Do you want to tell us a bit more about this approach to your work and what you've been working on lately?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the tail end of my graduation, I was very involved in drawings. And during the transition between two different universities, I took a year of philosophy as well. And it actually became very important kind of at the tail end of my arts graduation. So it was a branch of philosophy called metaphysics, which deals with the spaces in between things. So again, with that black and white space. So how those two spaces interact with each other or not. And so after graduation, I've been doing a lot of work within abstract drawings. And now I'm kind of in a transition period where I'm starting to see maybe different ways that those ideas can maybe branch into something a little bit more tangible. So hopefully a little bit more maybe installation based is kind of what I'm getting at recently.
Interesting. I did see some images of an installation you did recently with it looked like from online, it looked like black sheets of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was that about? Or how did that, where was this installation and kind of how did that come about?
Yeah, for sure. So I did an artist residency in Poland in 2018. And one of the rules that I kind of gave myself was I wanted my entire exhibition to fit back into my suitcase. So I started working with a lot of folded paper. And I was working with just a very simple material list of paper, thread, and pins, and a simple process of poking holes into different pieces of paper and threading through and pulling it. And then so all of these flat pieces of paper would create different kinds of organic shapes. And then I would pin them on the wall and organize them. So it would be, again, another conversation with a little bit of ergonomic design, but also with what kind of space those flat materials occupy when they become three-dimensional. And so the project that you saw was Swarm number 3, which is just a transition for that project with black paper and a larger scale. However, a lot of these projects at the size of the gallery, which was at it's a gallery space that we have in front of our studio spaces. It occupies, that entire space, but it folds right back into a nice folder and back into my suitcase.
Keeping with that like minimalist approach.
Totally, yeah.
So aside from just like tactile paper, what other materials do you use?
Yeah, for sure, like installation-based stuff.
Whatever.
Totally. So primarily the drawings that you know me for, I use India ink and Terraskin paper. The ink dries on this Terraskin paper in a really very tactile way. You can kind of see like every single crackle of the ink drying within that paper. So that's kind of the drawings that I do. And then for installations, I always consider how my materials can be expansive in presentation, but small in shipping. So I deal with, projections, different kinds of translucent and transparent materials. And I do quite like paper. So, it's like Yupo paper or Terraskin paper. And then, trying to figure out different ways where these materials can be very expansive in the presentation.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a studio space before. I'm assuming it's not, I mean, I see in the background of where you are, you have like bits stuck up there. Is that like your home inspiration board, or do you work from
Yeah,
home,
so
or
I've
do you
got
have
a
your own studio?
totally. So I've got a bit of a memory wall behind me right now. So it's a lot of just
Right.
things I've accumulated over the years. Yeah, some of them are based around the arts, and some are just friends, family, and relationship stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I have a studio space that I'm actually going to be moving out of in April
Mm.
to prepare for a move to Vancouver to hopefully go to school for an MFA.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, absolutely. So the two different reasons for that is to obviously save a little bit of money,
Mm.
but also thinking about my practice and how I want a smaller space of observation, but it's not necessarily because I want to create smaller things. I
Mm.
just want to challenge myself to work with less and then figure out different ways that I can maybe incorporate projects that are out in the world. And so that kind of thinking is also what I'm going to be taking to an MFA program because I want to start venturing into large scale public art.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm still waiting in suspense on the schools. Obviously, with the coronavirus, everything's been delayed a little bit. So I'm
Yeah.
still just, tapping my fingers and biting my nails to see what they say.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah, something in the next few months. I think we're all hoping that there'll be more answers rather than unknowns for sure.
Hmm. I
Um,
hope so too.
so actually on that note, are you doing anything, like have you kind of put your artist practice on pause now that you're kind of confined to your home space, or are you doing anything else to stay motivated, or are you just chilling?
Of course. Well, I'm just trying to think of ways that I can be adaptable. I think that's probably one of the most beneficial things about being an artist is that we can think of creative ways to deal with any kind of situation. So right now, I'm taking a lot of the detail drawings, so the actual photographic files, and using this app called Instaloop to create like basically creating photographs that move. And
Mm.
from that process, I'm hoping to eventually start doing projection mapping. So that means that I'm taking these static two-dimensional files and hopefully creating something that's installation based and moving, interactive. So obviously all of this stuff can be done from my phone at the moment. And
Mhm.
then once we're out of here, I'm able to maybe take it out into the world and do some projections
Oh,
elsewhere.
great. Well, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing some of that.
yeah.
um, are there any artists that you think people should know about, or that you've started following lately?
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, the big one is Olafur Eliasson. I think he does some really fantastic work with color and optics, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely in love with his project, the little sun energy that he does. It's
Oh, neat.
these solar lights that are in a bright yellow sun, but they charge from the sun and produce light for a lot of countries that aren't able to. They don't have accessible electricity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
That is really
it's
cool.
totally it's a really great project that I think only an artist could have thought of, and it's super impactful, it's super light and super bright, and I think I'm hoping just to kind of follow in some kind of footsteps of what he's doing with his practice.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time for our rapid fire question round. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just going to ask 5 questions and you can give any answer that comes to the top of your head. No need to stress too much about it. I know these things are usually like high stress.
I'm ready.
Okay. So first question. Place you love visiting the most?
Ooh, my lake, Waskasiu Lake.
Mm. What's a talent you wish you had?
Talent I wish I had. Well, I can juggle already, so maybe juggling something more dangerous like knives.
The last good book you read, if you can recall?
Ooh, uh, the Emily Carr's graduate program book.
Okay. And because, okay, I know that you love black and white, but what's your favorite color?
Ooh, red.
Mm-hmm. And your last question, if you could be someone else for a week, who would that be?
Marilyn Manson. I'm not too sure why, but I think he would have a pretty crazy life.
Yeah, and I feel like a week of that would be like just enough.
It'd be enough, eh? Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. And before we sign off, is there anything that people out there should know about or find out how they can follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. So since I came back from Los Angeles about 3 or 4 days ago, and I'm actually in self-quarantine for the next 14 days. But I'm doing this project called Far Reaching, which takes musicians' interpretations of some poems that I did for a Nuit Blanche project. They're interpreting those poems in an instrumental way. And then I'm taking the audio files and I'm going to be playing them through this bass and treble bar from my balcony window.
Oh, great!
So I'm hoping hoping to get some musicians to be involved in this project. So if anybody's interested in helping out, or if they are feeling a little bit bored, they can find the posts on my Instagram handle or my website, and it's just all jordanbaranecki.com or Jordan Baranecki on Instagram.
Sweet. Well, thanks so much for joining us on Remote Art Talks, Jordan.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thanks. Take care, and we'll talk again. Okay, bye. Thanks for tuning in. Follow this project using the hashtag #RemoteArtTalks and make sure to follow our guest artists on Instagram.
Artifier is a Toronto-based platform created to help people discover how art can be fun. Go check out artifier.net or follow us on Instagram at artifiernet.
For artist followers of Remote Art Talks, Partial Gallery is offering a discount on pro artist plans. Partial is a curated online directory of noteworthy independent artists. Go to partial.gallery, create a free profile, and use the code REMOTE to get a 10% discount on your pro plan.